Good morning, folks. So, we've been kind of a little bit busy this week and last couple of weeks. So, let me show you what we got planned for today. Today is break down the pool, right? Because the pool cover came off, and as you can see, it got stuck in with all this crap, right? So that's getting broke down, and we're tackling the wood pile. So we've already started a little bit, this is the reason I'm cutting them so small is so that they will fit in my little Alpine camping wood stove. So this way, if I go camping, I just take what wood I want and off we go. One of the other things I noticed yesterday when we opened up the shed is I have figured out who's been stealing all my chickens' food. So sometime this weekend we're going to have to figure out how the mice are getting into my chicken coop and seal that off. It's not good for that. Okay, this is something that you deal with when you have chickens. Is a lot of times because of the food that's out all the time, it'll attract mice and rodents. And so yeah, we've got a whole family of mice living in my shed. So we're gonna have to figure out how they are getting into the chicken coop, because as you can see, what I did was I wrapped the hardware cloth. I wrapped it over top of the shed, right? All the way around. So obviously they're getting in somehow. And I saw two of them inside my chicken coop last night. That's not a good deal. We're gonna have to figure out how exactly they're getting in and seal that off. The main reason you want to do that with chickens is because especially rats, not so much mice, but rats will kill your chickens, right? They'll just do it, right? And so we got, and it's also bad for the chickens because then they can get viruses that rodents carry. Dude, shut up. So yeah, we got a mosquito haven that we're gonna get rid of today. This is going up, and unfortunately the liner is shot, so I'll have to buy another liner. But yeah, busy folks. Everything happens for a reason, right? As we see with the hurricanes, God's people are showing up, and they're doing more than what I like to say is the incompetent federal agencies are doing. I say incompetent because from what I've seen, they're not really doing all that much. Now, this is to be said. They are on the ground, and they are trying to help. They're just clueless, right? It's nothing against them. They're just clueless. Dude, shut up. As far as National Guard in Tennessee is doing an awesome job. National Guard in North Carolina, those that are there are doing a good job, but there should be 10 times the amount that are there, honestly. Supplies are getting through to the most hit places. So thank you to everyone who's donated, who's sent supplies, especially the trucking companies that have stepped up and took their time and their truck and got those supplies into those areas. A big shout out to them, right? And there's multiple companies that are doing it, so you will forgive me if I don't list all the companies. Operation Blessing is on the ground, Red Cross is on the ground, Mercury One is on the ground, Grindstone Ministries is on the ground. Community churches in the area are inundated with supplies. Thank you. So there's a lot going on the ground that's not being covered by the media. As always, the community there, people are helping their neighbors, and thank you to those people. They've cleared driveways and they've saved lives. So in this type of disaster, as a prepper, that's what we stock our supplies for, is for our community. It's not just for us. It's for our community, that if a disaster happens, we can step up to the plate and help those around us. There was one militia group, and I'm sorry if I don't remember the name, that have done an absolutely awesome job. Some of the pitfalls, even they will admit, is not enough generation of power and communication. Okay, so communication is going to be key in this type of disaster. I recommend that if you don't have one, to look at getting a BioFang or a small handheld radio. That has been absolutely the lifesaver for a lot of people, because cell phones don't work. You're cut off from everybody. Ham radios are being used. But the smaller handheld radios have been an absolute lifesaver, especially for those trying to communicate back. Hey, I've just found 6 people. They're trapped in their house because of a tree. We need food up here. We need water up here. We need chainsaws up here. We need hands on the ground, to pull this tree off of their house and get it moved to the side so they can get out. Helicopter pilots are dropping supplies. Unfortunately, in the Appalachians especially, there's a big black bear population, and some of those spots I've heard have been getting hit by the bears before the residents of those areas are getting to those supplies. So be aware of that. If you're going into those areas, be aware that there are bears. Okay, the wildlife is there. You're not going to move the wildlife, and they are just as devastated as the human population. I'm also hearing reports of people who have left their pets behind. This to me is incomprehensible. My dog is like my child, so I could never leave him behind. Same with my chickens. My chickens are my food, right? I could never leave them behind. So, Pinball, I know, took in a whole bunch of animal feed, cat food, dog food, things of this nature, to those areas in eastern Tennessee. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of pets that are going to come up for adoption, and we know how that goes in shelters, right? So if you have the ability to adopt a pet or take a pet in, please do so. You might only be fostering the pet until the owners are found, because a lot of these pets are microchipped. Some of them you'll end up keeping. Okay, so be aware of that. So fosters are needed for these pets that are being found that no one knows where the owners are at, or if the owners have evacuated. I mean, it's still crisis on the ground, right? And that's the information I've gotten. Obviously, I'm not there. I'm in eastern North Carolina on the coast. And, so the information I'm getting is mostly for North Carolina. But try and keep donating to charities that you respect and that you know that the money is actually going to go to the victims of both of these hurricanes, okay? Because we just had Milton go through Florida, and DeSantis is doing an awesome job on helping his people in Florida. But there are still people in Florida that are going to need help. So don't forget about the people in Florida. Don't forget about the people in South Carolina and Georgia. Don't forget about the people in Southwest Virginia. All of these people were impacted by both hurricanes, okay? Not so much Southwest Virginia. They've got hit by the outskirts of Helene. And so, I mean, really, I want to thank everyone for donating. I want to thank everyone who put their boots on the ground and helped people in the Appalachians. Thank you. I can't say that enough. Thank you. Your donations have saved lives. And that is the number one priority, is to save lives, get the roads opened up, and start rebuilding, right? And that's what I have for you this morning. I got to get back to work because I've got all this to do today. And, it never stops. You don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing and keep preparing, right? Because you never know if you're going to be the next one that's going to be in the situation that the people up in the Appalachians are. So always keep a eye on especially your elder neighbors. Make sure they're okay, yeah. With that, I'm going to let you go because we got to get to work. Bicycle.